We have more information on the Activision Blizzard deal. EA addresses blaming Halo Infinite for Battlefield 2042, and Xbox hires a former Bandai Namco manager. Welcome back to another video, guys. If you're new here, you enjoy what you see, consider hitting that subscribe button. We got some more information from some SEC filings about the detailed timeline on how everything went down with the Xbox and Activision Blizzard deal. As we know, they have acquired Activision Blizzard, at least unless it doesn't go through, for $68.7 billion. Now, if you remember, there was this report here from Jeff Grubb and GamesBeat saying that it was Activision Blizzard that actually wanted to sell and that they had approached Microsoft first, and that's how this entire deal came together. Well, it looks like that may have not been the case according to these SEC filings. So the initial timeline on how this went down seems to have started on November 19th. This happened between Phil Spencer and Bobby Kotick having a discussion. This was just a few days after we heard about the reports about Bobby Kotick and all of the bad things going on at Activision Blizzard. And it says here, in the course of our conversation on a different topic between Mr. Spencer and Mr. Kotick, Mr. Spencer raised that Microsoft was interested in discussing strategic opportunities between Activision Blizzard and Microsoft, and asked whether it would be possible to have a call with Mr. Nadella the following day. The next day, which was a Saturday, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella was apparently more explicit, indicating that Microsoft was interested in exploring a strategic combination with Activision Blizzard. And that conversation between Nadella, Spencer, and Kotick was the beginning of what happened, which was that January 18th announcement where Activision Blizzard were acquired by Xbox for that $68.7 billion. Now, what else is interesting about all of this is that we know that there were other companies in the mix. We didn't really know how many, but it says here that there were 4 other companies and 1 individual that they have been talking to come to some sort of deal for Activision Blizzard. Now, we have absolutely no idea who these companies were, but it says here they were named A, C, D, and E, and then the individual was named individual B. So you can kind of take a guess of what those companies would be, who could afford these companies. Like Amazon probably could, Tencent. Could Sony have afforded Activision Blizzard? That one maybe not, but they could have probably afforded parts of Activision Blizzard and made some sort of other deal with them. And Microsoft was probably thinking that they had to strike right now so to not lose this deal to somebody else. In fact, specifically when you think about Sony, this is interesting. They say here none of those deals went through for various reasons. Company E, for example, said it couldn't do a full acquisition of Activision Blizzard, and Microsoft was rapidly and aggressively pursuing the deal, getting the terms together before some other companies had even entered the picture. And that's always a big step with these types of things. If you're the first in there and you have just an incredible deal, there's a high chance you're going to be able to pull it off. Now, I guess Company E, you think about it, could have been Sony, because Sony was already in a good relationship with Activision Blizzard. They had all of the Call of Duty marketing and all those deals. So maybe they were thinking about going forward with purchasing a certain part of the company to further extend the workings and just, hey, double down on what they've already been doing with the Call of Duty deals. Now, if you remember, after the Wall Street Journal published their article about Bobby Kotick and Activision Blizzard and all of just the bad stuff going on, Phil Spencer came out and said that he was disturbed and deeply troubled by the horrific events and actions, and that Microsoft is evaluating all aspects of the relationship with Activision Blizzard and making ongoing proactive adjustments. And that was just a couple of days before entering to talks with them about the acquisition. Now, I don't think that him saying this statement here meant that they were going to go out and purchase the company outright to have it within Xbox Game Studios and then attempt to turn it all around and make a better culture and better working environment. Because at the end of the day, I think this purchase, especially for the employees at Activision Blizzard, is going to be very welcome, and they're probably happy that they're going over to Microsoft, who is known to be a very, very good employer. And we've seen from the acquisitions that they've had with their developers that most people seem to be satisfied. Microsoft is being hands off when they're allowing them to do their work with their creative visions. And for the other parts of Microsoft, just a great overall rating in terms of as a workplace. You even look on Glassdoor and how high their rating is. So besides that, I mean, you have to keep in mind Phil Spencer is a businessman first and foremost for Microsoft. He's there to make them money. Yes, he's a gamer. We've seen that he really does care about gaming. He plays games, all that type of stuff, but his number one job with Xbox is to get great return on investment for the Xbox ecosystem, and purchasing Activision Blizzard at $95 a share was a good deal. Yes, it's not $81 a share, which it is right now, which would have been insane. But if you look previously, back in February 2021, they hit about $104, $103.81 US dollars per share. And they can see that there's still a lot of room to grow, especially if they really foster these IPs and do great things with them. I think it will be a great return on investment for Microsoft in the long run. Now, finally, we look at here what Bobby Kotick is actually going to make with this deal. So $95 per share will get him about $410 million if he leaves Microsoft. But let's say he stays on with Microsoft and then they push him out after anyways, he's going to still get about $14 million. So he's walking away. He's set. He has nothing to ever worry about. His family has nothing to ever worry about, even after all the things that came out. So he was probably thinking, now he's got to sell. Now it's time for him to get out because his reputation is in the gutter. The public opinion of Activision Blizzard was in the gutter, and he thought this was now the time to get out. And Microsoft came in and bought the company. So it's just crazy how all of these things work. I mean, this deal, 2 months it took them about to negotiate. And I think that's pretty fast, especially for $68.7 billion. We'll have to see if it goes through. It looks like everything will most likely go through. There is still a lot of people thinking it won't. They're still going to look at it and see if there's anything there that would cause them to block the deal. But let's say they do block the deal. Microsoft will be on the hook for about $2.27 billion in a termination fee. So I think Microsoft is pretty confident that this deal is going to pass. All right, jumping over here to EA's report on Halo Infinite and Battlefield 2042. So as I talked about in my video on Friday, there was a report that came out from Xfire and Tom Henderson that EA had essentially said one of the major reasons that Battlefield 2042 failed was because of Halo Infinite, and that Halo Infinite was so polished it made Battlefield look bad. So this may have not completely been true depending on how you look at it. Well, look at what Tom Henderson replies to this as well. As EA Communications Vice President John Reisberg told PC Gamer that what people have been saying about this story does not accurately represent the discussion and the context of the town hall meeting, and that it was an in-depth and very humble internal conversation about Battlefield 2042's launch, saying it was about key learnings and actions we are taking, not blaming external factors. So Tom Anderson actually had a response to this, saying here, I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure what EA is disputing with the Xfire article. I know it's rustled some feathers over there because everyone got hung on the Halo Infinite thing, but it's literally what was said. Laura herself even said beforehand, I'm going to share some spots and insights with you about what happened about the launch, what information we had in front of us as we decided to launch the game, what the situation currently is, and of course the actions we are taking. Then he goes on to say, after this statement, 6 of 9 minutes of the rest of Laura's speech was what happened, which is the focus of the article. If you actually read the original article, the focus wasn't Halo Infinite, and I purposely didn't include it in the title for that reason. So, I mean, there you have it. One way or another, they mentioned Halo Infinite. Whether you want to believe that they're blaming it on Halo or not, that's, I guess, up to you. It would be kind of weird for EA to explicitly come out and say we blame Halo Infinite for the failures of Battlefield 2042. And even with the original quote that Tom Henderson had posted about this, which was a quote from Laura Miele saying, we launched an early access on a Thursday night in the US and Friday morning and afternoon in Europe and Asia. The game was stable. The mean time between failure in hours of the game was in the green by industry standards, and the early critical reception was good. The day-to-day player retention looked strong through the weekend, but then things started to turn the following Monday. Halo did a surprise release of their multiplayer mode. It was a small segment of the game, but it was very polished, and it was not a favorable comparison to our experience given some of the bugs and polish issues that we had. So you can interpret that however you want. I guess if you listen to EA, they're saying that releasing the game and not the fully polished state was a learning experience because other games come out and then make your game look really bad. Or you can look at it from the sense that they're blaming Halo Infinite being a much better game than Battlefield 2042 in terms of its polish as to why it failed. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, EA and DICE released a extremely buggy Battlefield 2042. Those are the facts of the matter. And that's the problem. If they would have released a polished game, we wouldn't even be talking about this. The game should have been delayed, in my opinion, even off of the beta or the technical test or whatever it was before they actually launched the game. You knew that this game wasn't going to make it for release date fully polished. So that's why it's had a bad critical reception. I'm sure there is tons of fun to have in Battlefield 2042. Even now, I'm sure you can have a ton of fun, but it would have been much better for the overall look of the game if they wouldn't have released it with so many bugs. So to end things off here, let's talk about a new hire for Microsoft, which is very, very interesting. It's Eiji Tanaka, who is joining Microsoft as a developer partner manager in Japan. And I say here, he hopes to become a useful resource to Japanese developers in overcoming any challenges they may be facing in delivering games to the global market. Now, this is interesting because we know Xbox is trying to improve in Japan, and hiring somebody like this to help them do that, I think, is a step in that direction. Now, we look where he's come from. Previously at Bandai Namco for 2 years as a project manager and a UX designer, and now he started in February 2022 as a developer partner manager at Microsoft. Then we continue scrolling down here. They're making more hires to help with global expansion, and this is Kevin Taiwa Kim, who's joining Microsoft's Xbox as the global expansion incubator manager in Korea. He also just started in February, and previously he was a global strategic partnership manager with SK Telecom, and he spearheaded strategic partnerships with global cloud gaming conglomerates, understanding key factors for product localization and building new business models. So there you go, another person in there that is going to help expand Xbox into other parts of the world and really grow it. And then we have here a hire from China for Rob Cheng, who says he is excited to start a new team in China. If you or have friends who are interested in working with Microsoft Xbox to help game creators in China reach an even wider global audience, please share this job opening link and apply for this position. And then finally, we have Temi Afalabi, who has also been hired for Global Expansion Incubator GXI Manager for Africa, which is, again, another very interesting hire, a good one to help expand Xbox into more regions and get it out there more. We know that they want to democratize gaming with cloud gaming and things like that, and hiring people in these different regions to help grow it is definitely a step in the right direction. So he was previously at BTTS, both teams to score head of strategy from December 2018 to present, again as well, starting in February 2022. So interesting moves. We'll see how it all plays out, what this means for the global expansion of Xbox, what they're going to be trying to do, because we know they do want to expand. And especially with Japan being a huge focus because they want to grow there, but definitely getting out into other parts of the world, I think, will be a great thing for Xbox and for more people to just experience games because of the availability and the accessibility of the Xbox ecosystem. That's it for me, guys. Let me know what you think about the Xbox, Activision, Blizzard, the Battlefield, Halo saga, and all of these hirings across the globe. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. And you're new here, you like what you saw, consider subscribing. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.